Yo, we good? We good? Are we live? Are we live today? I think we are alive. We are alive and we're live. What's up, shooters? My name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SB $5 song reviews number 42. Where today, for just $5, you can get a song reviewed, any song that you like, whether it is from Spotify or YouTube, and ideally, that would be under 5 minutes, but we'll listen up to the 5 minute mark if need be. Just realized I need to do one more thing. I just need to how do I do this? There you go. And then we can go up until here, and then we can typically get this to behave itself like this. If we go to here, yeah, that's looking okay. Like I can tolerate that. Yeah, that looks alright. That's professionalish. It's professionalish. So hopefully you're well. I'll just quickly talk about my week. My week, I suppose it's chat time. My week's been good. I've had a good week. It was good to get the majority of the patron stuff done. It was nice to have a few Fiverr reviews to do, a few written reviews, as well as a few sort of video ones. I haven't live streamed this week. I've been busy with my accounting stuff because I won't go into it too much because it's not terribly interesting. But for me personally, as a business owner, it's been one of the most important weeks of my life. And I'm finally at a point now where the company where I can actually provably ascertain, I can say, hey, what I do with like the tuition, for example, is working. This is the state of things. This is where they are. The reason that's relevant to this is that because of the fact that I overpaid tax after, getting an accountant and stuff like that, what that means is that I can go and get myself a new vocal preamp that will help with the quality of these videos. It's one that I've been meaning to get for a very long time. And I understand that, sup, Jacob? Welcome to the live stream. I understand that may seem like a small thing, getting a vocal preamp, but I'm someone who's been doing audio engineering for quite a while now, and I can hear when there is something I don't like about something that I've done. And I'm using a secondary preamp at the moment, but ideally I would be using this Focusrite ISA1 because it just sounds professional grade. It sounds commercial grade. It is a vocal preamp that allows you, it has a character to it, which is very, very palatable in terms of, dialogue as well as singing and stuff like that. It's a world renowned one. And it's not like it costs the earth and back. It's just, when you are unsure about stuff with your finances, you're careful about your expenditure. And I think now with this week in particular, the reason, sup, Blue Dinner Box, welcome to the live stream. Hopefully yourself and Jacob are well. When you're unsure about stuff with your finances, you've just got to sort of be careful. But now things are looking a bit better. Things for the first time since I started the business are looking okay. And so that's what I've been doing this week is fixing that. And my accountant Casper is amazing, and I think he's an amazing dude. And I'm really glad. Like again, like I made that video about if you're a musician running a business, you need an accountant. Like, and I didn't expect that. It's not like I make a video expecting it to do well. Like, there's this video of like collage video that came out a few days ago. Well, it came out like about a week ago now, and it's gotten like 8,000 views on the channel, which is practically unheard of. Like, none of the videos I do get that much traction at the moment because of various reasons. But I'm grateful for that to have occurred. Um, but yeah, like that video about like getting an accountant is a sincere one. If you are running a company and you are scared or you're unsure, it sucks paying maybe the initial interest, but they will save you money as long as they know what they're doing and they're good accountants and they're registered and stuff like that. So I thoroughly recommend if you get the chance, you know. From that, don't know what else to talk about. Probably spend tomorrow because it's Saturday in Christchurch. Um, Probably spend tomorrow setting it up or in New Zealand. I really, I mean, like, if you tried hard enough, yeah, yeah. In New Zealand, should I say, it is, you know, it's a Saturday. So Sunday would be the day if I was going to get it tomorrow, I would test it out. The RD we have here, sometimes they will put payments through, but it'll take a few days. So, but there should be some better quality vocal recordings, I'm hoping, soon. And that'll be great. And it's something where you guys will be like, you'll see it when it happens. And it may not make a huge amount of difference, but either way, it's fine. Hmm. Suppose what we could do, seeing as we're here today, we could have a look at some music news. It's always good to look at music news and see what's been happening in the world. Um, gonna try and face that away from from the keyboard because I know you guys can hear the keyboard and it goes tippy taps, right? What is music news today? So Ryan Reynolds enjoyed the Taylor Swift concert. Halo, one of the defining voices of current dance music, on releasing her debut album Dusk, should I say? Arabia cover interview. Justice's Coachella performance. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand why people would have been offended by that. It was pretty wild situation there. Pretty wild situation there to understate it completely. Yeah. I remember the last time we had one of these live streams, there were a lot of people that had died, and they were going, all the people that have died recently, and it was very depressing. um, a lot of it is going to be about the election. Ed Sheeran wins Marvin Gaye copyright case appeal, ubiquitous chord progression. That's an actual one that's interesting to me. But I can't read it because I'm not subscribed. We can at least read the byline. Ed Sheeran has emerged victorious once again in his Thinking Out Loud copyright case. On Friday, the US Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled that Sheeran's hit did not infringe the copyright of Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On, citing that the songs share only the fundamental musical building blocks. Well, there you go. I think someone tried to have a go at Mariah Carey, if I'm not mistaken, recently. They tried to have a go at her because of like a suggestion that she had infringed on someone else's track and they were trying to get a cut of the royalties for the original track, the track that Mariah made, Um, Tyler the Creator with his new music, jokes about having Swifties all mad at me for his old lyrics. Willie Nelson remembers Chris Christopherson. I hated to lose him. We talked about that before. And that's cool. This one I kind of dig. The Cure just seem like really cool guys. Robert Smith is not letting this go on affordable tickets. Smith and The Cure went viral last year in their vocal efforts to rein in Ticketmaster fees and thwart scalpers. Robert Smith opened up about the notorious stance he took against predatory ticketing practices for The Cure's North American tour last year, recalling his goals to keep tickets cheap as well as his viral Twitter threads calling out the ticketing business from Ticketmaster to scalpers to other artists. Great. Good on him. Fantastic. That's awesome. That makes me really happy. It's great that they're aware of the positive effect that it can have to simply not be that greedy with ticket prices. Tours aren't cheap, but it can look really bad if you're diming and nickeling people or nickel and diming people. You know what I mean? By the way, thank you to Jacob. I will check out your track in a minute. I'll just get through this last page of stuff and then we'll get on to some reviews. Ed Sheeran, yeah, we've already talked about that. It is the case that a lot of these agencies, I know you guys have spoken about this. It really does seem as if it's the case. Hang on. It is streaming, right? We've been going for, yeah, that's cool. Good. I'm just making sure we actually are live. Because sometimes I've done these live streams and they haven't actually shown up on the channel, and that's very kind of sad. Hopefully it is showing. Yeah, I think, yeah, no, I think we're good. I assume you guys will let me know about when the stream is going to start or something like that if it wasn't working. Sexy Red reveals she has voted for Kamala Harris. Ah, right. Okay. So it's like the case of, to be fair, I mean, when you vote for someone, it makes sense that you'd really only particularly, on a certain level, it makes sense you'd really only care about something that affected you. Like, it doesn't justify really shitty behavior, but what I mean is, like, it makes sense for someone who maybe isn't particularly politically oriented, that when something, that they would suddenly sort of turn heel and sort of vote for someone else. Not that the internet needs more political opinions at this point, especially this close to the elections over in the States, but Okay. Well, that was cool. I mean, I feel like I learned some stuff. Not a lot, but some. Hopefully, if you are watching this, you feel up to date with music news. Are we good? I'm having severe internet issues recently, eh? I feel like I might have like a virus or something like that. I'm wondering what's going on. Like, it's crazy, like some of the cuts I've been having recently. I'll reset the router after this live stream. That'll fix it. Really should have done it earlier, but sometimes my nanolith panels can get a bit kind of screwy about it. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. The internet just isn't weird. Yeah. Sorry, my internet's been really weird recently. Um, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I need to fix this. I might be back for round 2. Just depends on how long it takes to fix the internet, but you know, it should be fine. So, and I want to make sure I get this done. So we're gonna do we're gonna do Jacob's. Thank you to Jacob for this, and the router. Okay. So this is Chappelle Rowan with Hot to Go. Let's do it. I haven't heard Chappelle Rowan, but I'm keen to hear more.
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I like the fuzziness. There's some unique tones here. mean, the chants are really catchy. Okay, that's an interesting song. That is a track from Chappelle Rowan titled "Hot to Go." I think it's about like she really wants to get with that other person physically. Like there's an incredibly intense attraction. You know, hurry up, it's getting cold. Hurry up, it's time for summer. Order up, I'm hot to go. So yeah, no, flagrantly, you know, sexuality possible. Yeah, 400 million. A lot of plays. A lot of plays. Um, yeah, I wanna sort of like I'm so nervous about you know what? Let's just ignore the fact that the streaming stuff is being weird. I can fix it in a moment. I gotta do the review. Okay. So the vocals from Chappelle Rowan, you know, great bit of wordplay in there, very charismatic, very peppy and energetic. You know, the parts where they speak at the end are great. There's some chanting parts where we sort of call out the names of the hook line. I think that's kind of creative. And you get a lot of detail in here. I think that it's I think Chappelle Rowan's been going for a while, and I feel like they've earned their place and their position in the mainstream music industry at the moment, primarily because a lot of the pop fundamentals are adhered to. We can not only sing really well, and we have really catchy melodies, we also handle. There's also like an 80s aesthetic, which is very popular at the moment, as Jacob, as you mentioned. And it's something where I feel like it's done classily. The thing that I think works is the unusual synth textures in this track as well. There are some guitar parts, some sequences, some sort of classy pads that sense of ambience to it. It's very spicy, very fizzy. I think the spiciness and the kind of fluffiness of those tones make it seem like it's a bit hotter in there. The intensity of it, the pulsating, the rhythm of the drums, the constant eighth note groove there with the accents there, kind of feels like you're never going to stop moving. And it's a track that again, as I mentioned in the song, it's made so that for you to want them. It's like it's really designed to kind of help you to fall in love with their music. And I think that it's intelligent. It's not done in a way where it's pandering. It's done in a way where I think that Chappelle Rowan is having fun with the music and the songwriting process. They clearly have a passion for music. And again, like the way that things are niched in a freaksy spectrum with the variation of layers over top, it's not the same thing all the time. Things go in and out. There's lots of little sub leads there that trade off the vocals that Chappelle is doing. And there's bits of filtering as well, but it's just really finding interesting, unique synth textures that I personally haven't heard before, trying to sort of establish a unique sound through that, whilst also trying to sort of keep your attention and retain it the entire time with their vocal style. And just the theme overall is upbeat and positive and very majorish, but not done in a way where it's cheesy or uncomfortable. Yeah, it's cool. I've got no complaints about it at all. I think that the studio production is really, really tight. If I just have a quick scan through it, just a bit. I mean, like there's like kind of that sound there, that unison note there that establishes an additional bit of intensity before we go into that hook line. It's kind of setting you up as kind of like a build, with the drop being staying at that level for a while, coming down with a dynamic range. And there's like the typical staple of like overdub vocals near the end and stuff like that to kind of do melodies on stop, but it's far more sort of subtle than you get in maybe other tracks. But yeah, it's good. Okay, I think we're fine for now. I think that my internet is behaving itself, but I'm gonna just wait a little bit. I don't wanna sort of like risk it. I actually think it'd be better to just sort of like fix it and then come back for a bit. Um yeah. I feel like, again, I've said what I wanted to say about it. I think as well, like the sound of the synth is kind of quirky, which is meant to sort of channel that kind of Brat Summer, playful, mischievous vibe that we're going for overall. So yeah, so what I'm looking for. Well choreographed, and I'm sure that the visual experience, considering the way that they brand themselves, is also very stellar. So thank you to Jacob for putting us through. I had a good go with it. At 407 mil plays, they're definitely doing very well for themselves. And I just hope they handle the fame well. I've been reading stories where they have been struggling with it, and I hope that they can find peace in a happy midpoint there, in a way where they're respected and appreciated by fan base, and they don't get a whole lot of unnecessary crap for it. But yeah, that was that. Thank you, Jacob. That was cool. What do we have next? And we have Dinner Hey. Apparently, Dinner Hey, you want to submit a K-popish song. I think you should. Again, I'm gonna go reset the router after I do your song, because it's playing up again. It's doing it again as I speak. But you can do it again afterwards if you want. I just don't know how long it's gonna take. It's out of my control. I do not control the internet. I might be moving house soon, and if I do, here. Yeah, it is. And yeah, gonna clutch to stop the stream. Fix. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll do this last one from Dinner Hey, and this one called, what do we got? Mondo Grosso in This World. Okay. Yep, there we go. Awesome. Yeah, it's really, oh man, it's awful. I don't know I don't know what's going on. I'm wondering if I have got a virus or something like that. So this is from Dinner Hey. This is titled Mondo Grosso in This World, featuring Ryuichi Sakamoto, with vocals from Mikari Mitsushima. Fascinating video so far. Oh, those strings are phenomenal, dude. Oh, hell yeah, man. Those kicks. So full on the stereo field, man, the frequency spectrum. And the panning of those hi-hats is fantastic. Can I do something really quickly? Actually, where is? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. 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 Here's the trick. What I realized was that I had dropped the top of my wireless internet doohickey on my desktop down the back of it on the floor. So I am wondering if my internet will be better now because it's actually visible to the fucking router. I'm surprised that it's actually worked at all. We'll see if it continues to be good, but that could have been why there was an issue. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Do we have vocals for this? Okay, so like honestly, like I think we might actually we might stop the live stream just because I've been a little bit distracted by a few things. I've seen that someone has put through a donation without it being a Ko-fi donation, so I'm probably gonna refund that because I deliberately yeah. Oh, shit. It's actually $5. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. I don't know how to stop that. I wanted to stop the commissions, and people have managed to get around that by putting a thing through the main page because they didn't go through the commission tab. Um, okay, I'm an adult. I can sort this out. Um, Okay, so basically, I think that in this world, just through reading through the lyrics, this is a track from Mondo Grosso titled "In This World," featuring Roichi Sakamoto, vocals from Hikaru um, Mitsushima. It's a track about sort of being in the world, like having love for each other, being just a part of your surroundings, allowing yourself to get lost in it and to not overthink things, and sort of like enjoy your time with it and to have fun with it, I suppose. Is the kind of to allow yourself to be yourself with that person and to not become sort of like try to overthink it too much. That's my kind of understanding of what this track is about. Um I want to have another look through the lyrics, but I understand pretty much everything else. Like for example, the vocal performance from Hikari Mitsushima is spectacular. It's a very breathy, sort of like intimate performance that demonstrates a clear affection for who they're speaking of, as well as for the world that they want to that world that they want to share together. They want to discuss it, and there's a sort of a like no, it's okay, Nake. It's just this wouldn't be an issue if my internet was actually behaving itself, and my internet hasn't been behaving itself all stream, so it's okay. We'll do dinner haze, and then we'll do yours, and then I will go and reset the router, and then it'll be fine. Um, I get why people donated $5 because it says that it's a $5 and you can do it via Ko-fi, and I get that if it's closed, it seems like you need to do it another way, so it's fine. Um, Okay, but yeah, I think solid vocal performance, great vocal technique, player sort of method, sort of focus with the melodies we used there. They harmonize really neatly with a lot of the really dreamy, misty, reverb-soaked melodies within the piano parts. And I think that we also suit the textures of the really hard, sort of frothing bass line. Just the bass and the drums there are absolutely just so intense. And so it's the track is more about, I suppose, the dual sort of AB aesthetic that they're trying to create. It's a song where, we have these wonderful sort of like airy kind of misty salutations to what we're discussing. It's this beautiful world that is made up of all these major and minor seventh chords there. The piano twinkles on the right hand. It's very pleasant to listen to. It's gorgeous. It's pristine. And then I think when we get into the part where it drops into the low sort of sub bass and it surrounds you in a stereo field and it's very, very intense. You got those little sort of pitter patters of like hi-hats going around the place, but when it drops and just the bass surrounds you in the headphones, it's just heavy and overwhelming. It's just wonderful. It's just incredible, really. It's so good to listen to. And I've got nothing but love for the fact that we're able to go between those different areas of simple sort of root note sort of preference there to then kind of go to these wonderful sort of glittery, starry piano parts that just, and Hikari and Mitsushima, they just dance on top of all of it, like literally in the video, but also figuratively in the track. It's just so easy to listen to. It's just so splendid, such a stunning sort of effort. And I think it's a track that doesn't overcomplicate itself there. It's trying to encourage you to get involved in the world that it is. It's showing you different angles there, and the whole entire time it's almost sort of melancholic that we're going with the highs and lows of it, with the lows getting into those extraordinary low bass and the highs being with again the higher upper elements frequency wise. So I think that's also attention to detail there. And it's such a loud track as well. The studio production is really tight. There's a clear presence of the vocals in the mix there. The way that the keys, the pads, the strings, because you have the strings come in early on, don't you? I mean, those strings are so bombastic. I love them. I think they just sound they sound spectacular. So full bodied. There's not a lot of dynamic range in this track, mind you. It really does kind of push against the limiter in the ceiling, but I think it just offers a more intense sort of electronic performance like experience. And I think that especially if you're wanting it to be sort of like that engaging, if you wanted the person to get lost in their world, you need the music to kind of hit you as hard as it can to kind of take you off balance. And you just end up nodding your head the entire time. It's splendid. And just at the end, you can literally hear stuff distort because of how pushed it is there. But it's just got such a great groove to it that it almost seemed like even if it's a bit crushed, it's still really well thought out and well presented. And there's like a final comment is an awareness of how the keys need to work with the vocals in order to have a synergy between the various elements. So ultimately, it's a really cool song. It's well created. It doesn't overcomplicate things. It provides a great sort of foundation for Kari Mitsushima to sing on. I think Ryuichi Sakamoto nails it as well. Piano was Ryuichi Sakamoto. Music was Shinichi Osawa. Words with Ue. Awesome. Fantastic aesthetic. Dinahe, I'm sorry that was a bit of a mess. I think we've fixed the internet issue now. It seems to be consistent relatively. The bars don't go up and down. It makes sense that the internet was a bit weird, considering the fact that I had it at the bottom of on the carpet. I forgot that it fell down there whilst I was moving stuff around. But yeah, I think it's okay now. We'll just have to see how it goes. Hopefully that's all right. But yeah, we're gonna do who have we got? RT. Oh, Nake, thank you for your request. I appreciate that. And yeah, no, we're cool. We're cool. That's all right. If the internet does behave itself throughout this next track, I'll open up the queue again as we've tried something different. And when you try something different and it works, there's no reason to then go and sort of pitch a fit and be stubborn about it. And it's better for me to continue a live stream anyways, because otherwise you need to do a part 2 and all that kind of garbage. But we've got this track from RT or Nake. You're good. No hard feelings. Please review Jinsei by Uchu Ur. Here's the link. I look forward to checking this out. I don't think I've heard these musicians before, so it'll be good to check that out. Oh, I believe you. I'm looking forward to it, like, legitimately. I have no issues with reviewing music for people. It's just that my internet was weird and I had forgotten. I just wanted to make sure that if people put stuff through that they enjoyed, they had a good time with it. Do you know what I mean? This is one of those things. That's why I was kind of concerned that if we had more requests come through, it wouldn't be good because the internet would be crap. But we don't have that anymore. Anyways, Jinsei, Uchu Ur. Let's go from the top. And thank you for your donation, Nake. Appreciate it. So is this instrumental, I suppose? I think it carries itself really well without needing a vocal line there. I mean, this key part is just sensational as well. A great shift. Great off the groove to the hi-hats as well. And tempo shift. Nice. The drum work is sensational, dude. I mean, how many times are we going to reintroduce the theme? I adore the diversity here. It's really cool. And then we're turning off the tape. So this was Uchu Ur with their track Jinsei off of the Irreversible City album. Now, while I say this, just so you know, I have opened the queue back up on Ko-fi, as I have not seen any frame drops since I put the internet dongle back on top of where it was meant to be. So the internet should be fixed now. It should be stable, and I apologize for any inconvenience there. That was something I should have probably had a look at early, but we've sorted that now. So this song is an instrumental, and I feel like it could either be from a film or a video game. Either way, it's tremendous. There's a lot of attention and effort put into having a compelling theme with various different tempo changes, different chord progressions, different concepts, lots of different instruments within the mix, not all the same time introduced over time. But there's just so much to absorb, and I get the impression that this is a song that is maybe given more context by the pieces before it, and I enjoy that, because the last thing you want in an album is for there to be a lack of connection, or I suppose progression through it. But I like the way that we played everything within this. I liked the way that the guitar sounded. I liked the way that the drums were performed with the various 8th quarter, 16th, and even 30 seconds, and some other really sort of spicy, fast fill bits. I liked the fact that the bass line was just so supportive in the low end with the root notes, understanding that it needed to be foundational and everything else was very, very intense. I appreciate the use of different keys, such as the organs that we had playing some like kind of chromatic kind of 16th note melodies by themselves, and then we had the guitars kind of chime in with that, and it was very progressive. It was a very progressive track. It was wonderful how we weren't sort of just relying on the major and minor scales and keys. We would also explore other melodic sequential concepts as well. I think the piano that we had a bit later on, when things came down a little bit, was very soulful, and it was a nice change in texture from those electric keys we had earlier. And I think that it was more somber sounding because of that. And the way that we flowed into having the brass and then the birds, and then these different iterations of these core melodies across different instruments that made the track more, because it seemed like we were going somewhere with it, almost like we were exploring a lot of different chapters within a story, lots of twists and turns that were communicated not only by the tempo shifts but also by things such as whichever combination we had. Granted, there were these signature guitar leads. We had lots of like little bendy and slidey bits and hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff like that, and we clearly understood the importance of having the guitar, which does fit into a vocal frequency spectrum, as like that kind of pseudo lead when we don't have a tale to tell. It was like it was guiding us along the way. And near the end, after the guitar had said its piece, we had the piano iterating upon it, and then the trumpets, and we had the birds, and then we finished things. It kind of left you wondering, like if you didn't have the previous context, what does this mean in the regards to this? Um, But it's also the use of these really kind of jazzy extended parts and the harmonies, which were really tremendous. Some sort of like modular changes there, some shifts between sort of semitones that just made it sort of seem just a little bit more snazzy and sophisticated. It was almost like we were going on a big adventure, but we also had to traverse some of the more nuanced sort of like city elements to be able to get there. And I feel like there's going to be more that you get the more times you listen through it. There's enough content or interesting stuff within this piece to really sit there and have multiple listens and genuinely have a different experience each time. The studio recording, mixing, mastering, though, is fantastic. It's nice and bright. You can hear all the instruments clearly. Things surround you in the stereo field, and things are nicely leveled in the frequency spectrum without any resonant frequencies. I've got no complaints about it whatsoever. It's professional grade, it's commercial grade, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to review it. So thank you to Nake or RT for sending that through. It was a pleasure to listen to. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a joy. It was a joy. It was an interesting track. You fulfilled your promise. To be fair to you, I'm happy to review whatever you want to put through, but I'm glad that I reviewed that. So yeah, I think we're good now. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on this dropped frames number for the last sort of 10 minutes, and it hasn't gone below higher than the number it has been, so we're sorted. So let's check out what else we have after RT's. Thank you. This was a cool song. There we go. So there we are. We got that sussed. So what commissions do we need to do now? We've got two more. We got Sweet Lily Love. Hopefully you're doing well, Sweet Little Love. I've also got one from Dinahay that I can see there. I'm wondering if that was the K-pop track that we talked about earlier. We've got some grounding now, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. Now, I think this is a Sweet Little Love cover, though. It is, I'll read the thing. This is a cover of a lesser-known happy hardcore song by Chipsworks. The voice is provided by the Invoice voice synth. So I think this is something that Sweet Little Love has been involved with, so it'll be good to hear it. And I'll just get that name up there so we're good to go. Yeah, things are good. I was having internet issues, but I think that they're sorted now. Touch wood, right? I'm not a spiritual person, but honestly, in situations like these, it's tempting. Let's go. It's very pretty, isn't it? Oh, that sub bass is. Ooh. The squeegee sound is an interesting choice. It's kind of like a scalloping, isn't it? It just slaps. I adore this man. I'm gonna pause. I don't usually try and pause because I like to play these songs through. What was the methodology behind the that synth? It's not me having a go or critiquing or anything like that. It's a curious texture in there. Is that part of the original? Is that like a sound that is like it's like we're trying to have that as a replacement for like the vocals. And I know it would have been difficult to like choose another synth to kind of go alongside. Like we're developing well. Dude, yes, good. It's coming down. It's dangerous to like a song because I forget to listen to the lyrics and stuff. I thought that was tremendous because that was Sweet Little Love with Come With Me, which was, as I understand it, the cover of a lesser known happy hardcore song by Chipsworks. Come With Me will be there for eternity. Like, so basically, it's just dividing them on an adventure where they're going to be together for that time with the invoice voice synth doing the vocal parts. Invoice vocal synth. Oh, that's so cool. Dude. Oh, the pricing. Oh, what? All voices so basically, oh, so you can buy one voice. Oh. So how many different voices are there? There's like, oh, crazy. Yeah. Okay. That's really fascinating. I now understand why people, I think that'd be fantastic if you're doing electronic music. It'd be a hell of a lot less stressful than like, a hell of a lot less stressful than having to like get like a singer to sing things exactly the way you want to an extent. You know what I mean? That's really cool. So the invoice voice synth captures the voice really neatly within the sphere of the electronic music that we're listening to. Ties tonally, it makes sense, and there are some catchy anthemic lyrics. Yeah, I feel like you could probably. I feel like yeah. I'm hoping. Yeah, subscriptions, eh? Subscriptions. Aside from the vocal performance, which I thought was really kind of, it made sense with the everything with the lyrics, and I felt like the voicing was appropriate for the lyrics. The track has lots of pads and basses and synth leads and a wow 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 wow, which is an interesting sound. To be fair to you, Sweetly Love, that is an interesting sound for sure. It's a sound which I find I'm not sure if I'm totally vibing with it, but I respect the fact that we A find it interesting and B I understand like it's like the thing where like I don't how do I say it? That why did the wow wow? I just when I've done music production in the past, I don't understand the placement for those. But I suppose listening to different music, you find context for it, and I appreciate what you're doing here. And to be fair, at the level that you're at, you're doing very well with it. So it's like a deliberate decision to have that, which I respect. So TLDR, I think even with some of the textures, I'm not necessarily wasn't as much vibing with. I think that they made musical sense. There was builds and there were drops and we had transitions. It was a 4.5 minute mix. You had quite a few iterations of the main vocal lines, but it was done in a way where you were sort of left with like really getting that hook line stuck in your head. And you just were, I suppose, after the first couple, you just basically sitting there kind of vibing to the tune anyways and appreciating the variations within those synth melodies. They're the slightly different leads that take over, the development of those one voice and then another, etc. The alternate leads that we had between mains and sides. I feel like there's a lot to it to appreciate here. The theme overall was trying to get you sort of super hyped for doing what it is that we're discussing within the track. The energy of it, the tempo is fast, there's chord note accents, it's unrelenting, it's loud, it's bombastic, it hits you like a train. And like even though there's like a kind of a quieter start to it, like with that kind of reverse take moving into that, we don't hesitate. We don't stick too long. It's 13 seconds before we get into the main sort of part of the track. We're allowing it to sound pretty and gorgeous for a bit, but we're also letting the listener know, hey, we're going to get heavier in a sec. I think that it was good as well near the end where we had like the drums stop. I think that was really important to just allow things to float. I'm glad we had that, especially when you've got a perceived consistency and loudness and intensity. To have something come away, it adds variety to a composition. So I think that was smart. And yeah, yeah, again, Sweetly Love at this point, you're doing really well with your music. I've no real like there's no like foundational issues or anything like that. The production in general is pretty tight. I was really happy with the sub bass and the way there was a bit of distortion and crackle to some of the lower elements when they came in. And yeah, it's just about getting that limiter that it's about getting those lifts at the end of the day, right? But yeah, well done. Thank you for sharing this. It's a cool cover. I think this is actually one of my favorite tracks that you've put out. Like seriously, I was imagining how like you could remix it effectively, and I don't know if that is a compliment, but I consider it to be a compliment. I feel like if people want to remix your music, it's an assembly. You made a track that's definitely yeah, you know what I mean. I'm going on a tangent, but the next track is from Dinahay. You're welcome, sweet little love. You're welcome. It's been good to check out your tunes over the time we've been doing it. It is a pleasure. I think I said a while back that I'm at a point where, like, when I listen to music, I typically feel confident knowing that I'm going to have a good time with it. But of course, you can't assume that as a reviewer. You've still got to maintain a lack of bias in order to make it fair. But yeah, the fact that I even consider it being a safe choice or a safe listen is a compliment. Because there's a lot of stuff out there. Anyway, this is Dinnerhay. This is Dinnerhay's pick. This is Apt with Rose and Bruno Mars. Let's do it.
창이가 좋아하는 랜덤 게임, 랜덤 게임, 게임 스타트. 아파트 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 kissy face sent to your phone, but I'm trying to kiss your lips for real. Red hearts, that's what I'm on, yeah. Come give me something I can feel. Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I need you now? Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy. All you gotta do is just meet me at the 아파트 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 아파트.
I unironically enjoy this.
It's whatever you like. Turn this opposite into a club. I'm talking drink, dance, smoke, freak, party all night. Come back, go, what's up? Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like
I love his harmonies, man.
Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy. All you gotta do is just meet me at the
Hey, so now you know the game. Are you ready? Cause I'm coming to get you. Get you. Hold on. I'm on
Great
my
shift.
way. Yeah. I'm on my way. Hold on. I'm on my way. Yeah.
Interesting parallel they're going to with that into their harmony.
Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I need you now? Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy. All you gotta do is just meet me at the
Just meet me
just meet me at
Yeah.
the just meet me at
Okay, so I really like this. I'm going to be the contrarian today. That was Apt, the track from Rose featuring Bruno Mars, or they're both collabing together at the same time. Blue Dinnerbox says, last time you asked me why I'm not into K-pop music, this is probably why. Fair. It is very... The K-pop music... Here is my hot take on K-pop music, really quickly. I am familiar with it because I've dated several people who really like K-pop. And I kind of got the call up on a lot of the history of it through the 2000s and the 2010s and stuff like that. So I heard it a lot. It's like they're taking stuff from like 5 years beforehand and like the Western stuff, or a few years before, and then they kind of do their own version with it, and it's like unique because by that point a lot of the Western stuff's kind of moved on from that front. It's like it's not, I don't think it's a deliberate thing. I think it's just that maybe I just think there's certain yeah, that's my take on it. That's my experience with K-pop. And a lot of the biggest K-pop tracks, such as Gangnam Style, which I know is kind of a crappy example, but like just because of just how obvious that is. It's stuff where it almost kind of parodies itself a little bit. And it's like, sup, Alvin? How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. I like unironically like Gangnam Style, but even I can understand it got done into the ground. And I listen to this, and I don't really hear it as a K-pop track. And I just don't think there's enough K-pop in there for it to be a K-pop track. My understanding is this is a collaboration, and maybe I'm gatekeeping under exclusive. But it's not a bad song by any means, but it is too pop to a point. But that I'm annoyed sometimes. Okay, so I have a genuine question. What is pop? What is pop music? Let's talk about that. What is pop music? Because I don't know. I understand it to be popular music, but popular music changes so often that it is open at the moment, I think. Yeah, it is open. So Alvin, feel free, man. Just feel free to check the queue. Like, I don't mind you asking, but just also feel free to check the queue. And if there's commissions available, we're good to go. If the commissions are not available, then it means the queue's closed, basically. Also, usually what I will do is, in this section here, usually if the queue is closed, I will have a little message saying that the queue is closed. So the only reason why you'd see a pinned message here is if the queue is closed. Sweetly Love says, yeah, I was thinking it didn't really sound K-pop, but like, I'm also not the arbiter of K-pop. So like, I'm not in a position where I could say whether it is or not. All I can do is review this track. I think that my understanding of what you're trying to say, Blue Dinner Box, if I'm not mistaken, is that it's like trying too hard to be catchy. I think that's kind of the epitome of the situation with the song where like, I feel like it's not making fun of itself. Like I feel like a track can be attention seeking if it's trying to make fun of itself or trying to be a parody of pop. Maybe that's just getting a bit too meta on it, because otherwise it just seems a little bit too desperate. I think this was just Rose and Bruno Mars trying to find a way to fuse their styles together. It's definitely more honestly. Like the track kind of sounds more kind of Taylor Swiftish to me than anything else. It's like you get Rose and you get Bruno Mars, and you combine them, and the instrumental part behind it is like a Taylor Swift early 2010s record. And it's like, it's an interesting situation to be in. I think that the vocals from Rose and Bruno Mars are phenomenal. Their vocal harmonies are some of my favorite things. I love when Bruno Mars harmonizes with other musicians. His voice is so cool. And Rose, I think, tempered their kind of a way of expressing themselves in a way which is very satisfying as well. They're both stunning singers. They can clearly perform. And the chanting parts with the up, that kind of stuff there with the song name was really dope. I think that they each had their own sort of angle on the verses. They were allowed to sort of spread their wings a little bit. I think the fact that it's in English makes it more accessible for old fogies like me who don't understand other languages. And I adore it. I think it's really cool. I think that the synth backing there was really tight. It's kind of fluffy and fuzzy and peppy and bouncy. The drums they have a nice sort of like bounce to them and they move forward, and it's very kind of like, you kind of want to sort of dance around to it, which I think is trying to sort of initiate that sort of party vibe into it. The bass line was confident. I think that you could have potentially had another lead instrument that was a different texture coming halfway through the song and fill in the void that other fuzzy synth tried to do, where it was a weird resonant frequency. Like the synth lead that we had in the second half of the outro chorus to me sounded a bit weird. It seemed a little bit too overdone. I wasn't happy with how that was done. I just think it was a bit too busy, which was an odd choice because usually Bruno Mars's compositions are just so tight. They're just so tight. I just think it was trying to find the best of both worlds there and having a few rough edges. Yeah. The thing is why I don't listen to old music. I think honestly, like this is like, I know I've got other songs to review, right? I've got one to do from RT after this. I think a really good question we need to ask ourselves is, especially if you're a musician that is wanting to release music, the thing we need to ask ourselves when we release a song is, do we already have enough music? Do we already have enough music? Because if we have too much music, we don't need more. And we have millions of songs, if not billions at this point. Do we need more songs? It's okay. Jamie Lynn. Hey. I can't. Let me just go here. I just want to check that. Where is Jamie? Oh, just seen it. The yeah, I just seen it. The reviews are $5. Is it possible to go through the commissions tab in the description? I'll refund so that you only pay the $5. Yeah, so I'm just gonna refund that now. Wrong. Yeah, refunding is as we donated via general instead of commission. Apologies for the inconvenience. Yeah. So I've just refunded the money. So like you should receive the refund for that $3. It's just so that it's fair to everyone. It's just $5 for the commission, and you can do that via the Ko-fi page. So yeah, don't worry, you're getting your $3 back. Like yeah. So see here, just so you can see that I have refunded that $3. Okay, the payment's been refunded. So if you can just put through that $5 via the Ko-fi, via the commission link, you should be good to go. Okay. Anyways, oh yeah, getting back to this track, I feel sorry we got distracted, didn't it? Yeah, we'll do this. I'll concentrate on this. Wait, I didn't show anything there, did I? I don't think I showed anything there that was off. Okay, no, I don't think there was any. There was no like mention of their like details or anything like that. It's fine. Yeah, it's all good. Okay. Anyways, getting back to this. I feel like I've spoken about all of it. I think the energy in general of this track is great. It's a party vibe. The music in general is upbeat and positive and friendly and energetic and charismatic, and kind of gives me like that first track that we reviewed from Chappelle Rowan. It has a sort of party vibe, and I think a lot of musicians are trying to capitalize on the brat summer kind of thing, or just kind of getting into the party and grooving and wanting to like move around and sort of play party games and stuff like that, as a very kind of chic thing. But I think it's effective. Again, I feel like the song wouldn't have been the same if Bruno Mars wasn't here. I feel like having a dynamic between the two singers was effective and believable, and nothing but love. Nothing but love for that. And the studio recording, mixing, and mastering, aside from the weird kind of fuzzy synth thing that I wasn't really happy with at the end, everything else was fine. So thank you to Dinahay for putting through this track, this request from an ex named Rose with Bruno Mars titled Apt. Hopefully that's good. So that's done. That is marked as completed. And then I'm just gonna go here. Just making sure there was nothing that I showed here that was weird. No, there was nothing here. That's good. Awesome. Great. So who do we have next? We have RT. I know, RT. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. We're going to do RT's track next. What does RT have for us today? After, of course, the previous track, we have Driver's Seat by Well Said. Let's do it. Let's go. Next track. Oh, we don't need to have that there. We have that here. Oh, I get what happened. You have to do this. Am I losing my mind? Copy. There we go. Okay, apparently that doesn't work the way it needs to. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Oh, no, we're good. It is working. That's great. Never mind, we're good. Just my app was bugging out for a moment. So this is Well Said with Driver's Seat. It's kind of a little bit discordant.
Put me back on the driver's seat. I never wanted any of this. If only it was a mindless distraction. I never thought that I said I quit drinking when no one's watching. Quit drinking when no one's watching. Hey. Take some time to remind her I never wanted any of this. But I found it now and I'll find it anytime. Another reason to believe in drinking when no one's watching. In drinking when no one's watching.
A little bit of fizzling, but that's okay.
And I'll see you in a different light. And I'll see you all the time. And I'll see you with my eyes shut. And I'll see you with them open.
Most beautiful upper harmonies there.
And I'll see you all the time. So keep looking and keep watch.
And the panning to the sides with the guitars is kind of fun as well. Oh, that was a little bit.
I never wanted any of this, but I'm acting out with no proof of discretion. Just tie me down and put me on a leash. On a leash.
That vocal fry at the end, the way it cracked there was fantastic. He's got a really unique voice. It's like a voice where I feel like in certain situations it'd be a little bit too much, a little bit abrasive, but in the situation that we have it with Well Said, it's like the tension suits the rest of the track with the guitar, bass, and drums. So that was Driver's Seat with the track from Well Said. What is this song about? Put me back on the driver's seat. I never wanted any of this. If only it was a mindless distraction, I never thought I'd say I quit. So is okay, so that's about drinking, and is it about someone who can't control themselves and they drink to suit? Is that the kind of angle they were going for with this? I kind of get the impression that might be the case, that we're looking at the voice crack almost like we're kind of desperate to be kind of stopped from causing any more harm or pain to anyone. That's it is a hell of an ending. Alvin says, dang, that voice crack was right on the edge. It was. I'm actually impressed with that voice crack. I think it's tremendously well done. It really shows that desperation and that raw expression there. They're a solid singer. I do appreciate the way they hold the notes. They've got a very unique voice, and it's kind of a bit, it's nasal, but like I can judge because I know my voice is kind of nasal. I think it's about someone seeing you regardless of what you do, so you're sort of like drinking to cope. And I get the feeling at face value, maybe it's about like their control over their own life, or it could have been like about an accident while driving or something like that. I'm not sure. But either way, it wasn't a comfortable song. The guy was going through some heavy stuff. He sounded like he was trying to have a conversation with it, but in the end, he screamed, and it was a release of his anger and frustration with the situation. It was very believable. It was a great performance. The track at 3 minutes 42 was a mixture of different guitar, bass, and drum parts. The different guitar tones rubbed each other up the wrong way. It was an uncomfortable experience, not bad one, but I think it was deliberately these tones and timbres from these guitar parts were chosen with this almost kind of meandering affair with the melodies and arpeggios and the way they kind of worked. It's very grunge-ish. Like, when did this come out? It's like grunge in like 2019. It does remind me of a lot of the early 90s stuff. And it's very kind of almost a little bit kind of, there's some charming parts there, some really kind of bright, cheery, interesting bits there, but there's never a glow or a general feeling of positivity there. Like the way that we go down, bum, 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 there are kind of sounds that we're maybe not going to turn the corner anytime soon. The bass line is just in your face, but it's also fragrant. The drums there with a cutting kind of tone to a lot of the parts there, but it does simmer along with 8th and 16th grooves there. And we have variations with the percussion as we go through. We're not sitting on one thing for too long. With some interesting sort of ghost notes and stuff like that as well, and the offbeats there. Great sort of sub grooves there. And then I think we also had like a solo section there, which was a nice change of pace from what the vocalist was doing there as a sort of alt lead there. So that was smart. And we have all these combinations coming together to a track where like you have some pretty chords and some moments where there's a bit of respite, but you don't get the feeling that it's going to get improved from the way that the chords progress and flow into each other and the transfers and stuff work. It's a song that musically sounds unsure of itself. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is rough and ready to rumble. It's rough and tumble. It's kind of visceral in parts there, but it's part of it is that it's just not overproduced. We're not trying to make it sound pretty or presentable. It's a very kind of real statement. It sounds like they're playing live, like you could hear them at the bar, and it's just as good on the album. And I think that's also part of the charm of it, is that they know on all levels how to get the sound they want. Fantastic independent effort. The band's got great chemistry. The leveling in general was pretty good. There were some parts which seemed like they kind of sort of snaked out a little bit. You know, they were a little bit too loud for what they were. But I think ultimately the compression and stuff was pretty well done. The vocalist didn't need any help in post. And yeah, nice and loud without pumping. So I think it's a really great first impression of Well Said's work. Thank you to Nake or RT for their request to this track titled Driver's Seat from Well Said. Had a good time with it. It was definitely unique. I will remember these guys, I think. It's very windy outside. Don't know, what's the weather like for you guys where you are? Because in the moment, we've had like a really beautiful day. And then it's just kind of like, it's getting a bit grumpy outside now, I think is the best way to describe it. So this is Jamie's request. Thank you, Jamie, for putting a request through via the commission. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your patience as well with the process of doing that. And this is, yeah, Jamie with their, this is from Thalassa from Petrels. It's a three-piece band from Tokyo Incident's guitarist. I was wondering what the rest of Tokyo Incident's musicians were doing. Because I know Sheena Ringo, I've heard a lot of Sheena Ringo's work, but I haven't really heard much else from other people. Which is a shame, you know, like I do want to hear more from other musicians that we come across. Um, oh, hell yeah, man. Let's get into that. That's nice and loud. Let's go. Boom. So there's 2 in the queue because I've got Alvin after this, so that's exciting. Thalassa by Petrels. So heavy. It is Alvin, absolutely, man. Oh, the cymbal hi-hat work is fantastic, man. What are we doing with that guitar tone, though? Great balls, man. That was really cool, man. That was Thalassa, the track from Petrels. What do I think the track is about? I'm not sure. I do not speak the language. But I had a great time listening to it. The vocals were indeed quite funky, as Alvin said. Really soft, smooth, palatable, easy to get behind. Really, they were just really suave. We had some really compelling melodies there. They're easy to listen to, made a lot of sense with the backing composition. I think the star of the show, though, was not just the main vocals, but also the those kind of hummed parts or those sung, almost kind of backing vocal choir sort of harmonies behind the main leads, and the way they were almost like a key texture, or like a string texture, with the constant picking of the guitars on the sides, with the bass line underneath, and with the drums just constantly pushing forward with those chord note accents. Really impressed with the way that we presented ourselves with Talasa. It's a fantastic show of what a three piece can accomplish when you have people more than just a singer who can sing, and I adore it. I adore it. I think that it's just really slick. And again, like the guitar tones with the constant sort of picking there, kind of 16th note groove that contrasted with the 1, 2 of the drums there. Great rhythmic sort of texturing there, layering. I think that the 7ths that we played, the extensions there were stunning. Great glow to them, some sophistication to it. Almost sounded like a kind of a nightclub kind of nighttime vibe there. The aesthetic of so sitting there kind of sweetly taking in the stars around you as they glitter in the sky. I think it was really gorgeous. The song at 3 minutes 35 was really well structured. We had verses and choruses, but we didn't overcomplicate it. We had like a leadish, sub-leadish kind of layer there. We almost had like a kind of a watery, rotary reverb there, like a guitar in the center that kind of took over. But it wasn't there for too long. It was more just to provide a different sound in the middle of the stereo field to what we'd had previously with the vocal takes. And I feel like it was nice to have a break. And you really noticed that where all the instruments cut near the end, back into that sort of main part, we built things up one more time for that outro. Really tight performance instrumentally. Again, I think the drums is some of the fattest tones there that I've heard in a drum kit in quite a while. It's just so, just the boof, how round and how square it was, and just how it kind of thudded, and just you just kind of just it was nasty, but it sounded so cool. And again, the mixture of different hi-hat and cymbal parts as well, with some ride elements as well, which was really cool. Just a really tight instrumental performance with a theme that I'm not really sure how to pin down. I'm not sure how to approach the exact sort of, 'cause I suppose I would need to probably know more about what the track is about to really kind of gather it. But it does sound like we're either like relaxing, maybe going on a journey somewhere. It's the nightclubs, nightlife, like you're kind of pondering or meditating on stuff outside, maybe appreciating the world you have. Either way, it's very smooth, it's very cool, and the studio production is fantastic. It's an awesome track. Thank you to Jamie for sending this through. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, yeah, I hope that they continue to find further success, and I'm really glad that Petrels are making music and that the other musicians within Tokyo Incidents are doing stuff as well, as they're all fantastic musicians. I know that Sheena Ringo is like they do, exactly, Jamie. Absolutely. They kind of extend the limit of three-piece band to large. It sounds like a bigger band than a three-piece. And I think that what's really clever is, I suppose, like a closing statement before I do Alvin's piece, is that they manage I can't multitask. They manage to they manage to sort of make it bigger, but also in a way where it's not going to be doable in a live situation. Like they can get that same sound in a live situation. They're not doing what the temptation can be to offer way more in a studio recording than you can do live, and that overcomplicates the experience. You'll have the people playing in both ways either way. So I enjoy that as well, that they had their limits and they made the most of what's in those limits, as you said, Jamie. So yeah, where we agree with each other. So that's cool. But the next track is from Alvin. I'm not sure what Alvin has for us today, but I look forward to it, as usually the ones we have from Alvin are quite quirky, and I like that. We have Yes today. Yes, I am excited to listen to more Yes. They are a bit of an enigma to me. Yes, I'm still figuring them out as an act. But I appreciate the opportunity to review their work, and I think that again, they're oh, what did I do there? Here we go. I enjoy their work. Retro pick, absolutely. Just gonna make it yeah, I typically wow. I don't know what's happening here. YouTube is being a bit big. I don't always announce the live streams. This week's been a bit of a mess, but we've got through it. We've got through it. Just gonna just check something real quick. No. It's all right. It's all good. Yeah. But welcome, David, anyways. Hopefully you're well. We've got this track from Yes titled Wondrous Stories, so let's do that.
I woke this morning, love laid me down by the river. Drifting, I turned on upstream, bound for my forgiver. In the giving of my eyes to see a face, sounded silence me, leaving no trace. I beg to leave to hear your wondrous stories. Beg to hear your wondrous stories.
Phenomenal harmonies, man.
He spoke
He was so high on his bass, man.
lands they were in his mind. Of fusion captured high, where reason captured his time. In no time at all, he took me to the gate. In haste, I quickly checked the time. If I was late, I had to leave to hear your wondrous stories. I had to hear your wondrous stories. La la
That synth work is fantastic, man.
hearing your wondrous stories. Hearing your wondrous stories. It is no lie to see deeply into the future. Imagine everywhere you're close and where you dare to stand so cautiously at first and then so high. As he spoke, my spirit climbed into the sky. I needed to return to hear your wondrous story.
Oh, it's so satisfying how that resolves, though.
Return to hear your wondrous stories. Return to hear your wondrous stories. La la
This is cool, man. So that was a lot to take in. That was Yes with their track Wondrous Stories. Where do we start with this? How do we absorb this? How do we discuss what's going on here? I think the track is about someone who is has a lot. There's wonderful stories that they're returning to hear their wonderful stories, but like the stories, like they take them to the gate and then they take them. The spirit flies high in the sky, and I think it's just about listening to an incredible storyteller and being elevated by that experience. The joy of finding an interesting person and spending time with him and having fun, I suppose. That's kind of what the track is about. Hopefully I'm not too far off from that. There might have been more range to that, but the way it was sung with the guitar, bass, and well, the three vocalists performing really incredible harmonies in those chorus sections it was like so approachable. It was so good natured and passionate and caring and kind. And they just seemed like they were having a great time. They seemed happy to be on stage there. There wasn't really any darkness to this. Like there was like that kind of major, and then they put a parallel minor, I think, in the second time of the verse go through, and then they built up from there and went into the chorus, which was kind of a smart move. I enjoyed that. But it was also a song where, how do I describe it? It just that there was such a phenomenal glow due to the melodies on the synths, the guitars, the bass, and like there was a 12-string guitar, and there was like a electric with a bass and a synth there, or keys, and the drums. I mean, like, there was so much to absorb that I didn't even really sort of like pay much attention to the drums. I think that if I go through really quickly. Dude, there was no drums. Was there? Was there any drums? I don't think there was drums. That's why I didn't notice it. There might have been like a drummer, but it was very subtle. A lot of the sounds I think might have come from the synth, like the crashy sounds. And then the bass was the kick effectively in this. So the bass performed that function. Like the bassist would go up sometimes, up in its range, then just dum, like then it just the thump of that was just a fantastic 808 there. It was great. I think part of this track was it was more vocal oriented. They could clearly play. Like the key player going up and down the 3 to 4 octave arpeggios between triads was absolutely just insane. We're really snazzy across the 8 octaves. We explored our range incredibly well on the keys, and we had plenty of range to do it in a way that wasn't detrimental to the listening experience. Like it wasn't overcomplicating it. There were lots of finicky little guitar lead parts as well as sort of picked parts there, but we did not interfere. We did not interfere at that hook line. That hook line was the focal point. We sang, and then we had call and responses, whether, again, it was from like the 17, 19 bass parts before they went back down, or the strummed elements there, the strummed 12-string, really chimey, shimmery, incredible sounding guitar takes. Just the way that these instruments and the musicians know how to feed off each other. Every single instrumentalist within Yes is just absolutely kind of wild to me. Like they're just so talented. And I just don't know how they managed to find gaps and niches to put this stuff in. It's such a busy track, but at the same time, the theme with its major leanings and everything like that, just despite the instrumental proficiency of it, it's also so easy to absorb. And the very first comment here is, I am thankful that in my time on the earth, I got to experience the 60s and 70s. The best music ever was. I feel privileged, especially Yes. What I will say is that I would argue that some of the music from this era was definitely an adventure. And songs like this seemed like an adventure. You didn't know what was going to happen next. You were going on this wonderful kind of passageway. They were telling a story about wonderful stories or wondrous stories that they enjoyed. It was sophisticated, very intelligent, and very creative. And there were no limiters. It was wonderful, man. Studio recording, mixing, mastering was fantastic. For that time, live performance, all vocalists were heard. Great use of panning. The way that things surrounded in the headphones was awesome. No issues whatsoever with hearing different elements there. It was a full sounding track, wonderful attention paid to niching stuff within the frequency spectrum within the instrumental layers. No complaints at all. Had a great time with it. And thank you to Alvin K for putting this track forward. There's more I want to say, but it's also like I'd have to get into the nitty gritty of it, and we could be here for like half an hour or something like that. It's just like to talk about the individual components of the track and sort of be like, this part was done like this and stuff like that is something that we do here. But I could like happily just spend like 5 minutes talking about like the guitar parts or like the bass parts or something like that individually. But guess what, shitters? I am closing the queue. I'm closing the queue. The queue as it's dinner soon. Thanks for the requests so far. I think we got one more. Yeah. So I'll do RT's request before I go. I'm just going to pin the message now so you can see that I have pinned the message here. And it will show that the queue is closed at this point. And especially if you go to Ko-fi, you'll see that the queue is closed. Alvin K says, yes, interesting the vibes of each decade. Absolutely. I think that there was clearly music of that point where maybe it was not as exciting. Like, I think part of why it was so experimental was maybe a pushback against a lot of people preferring music to be more normal. Looking forward to it, RT. Let's do it. What do we got? What do you got, RT? What's the final track for today? There we go. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. This is the link we want. Okay, this is I don't know what that means. Let us see if we can put that into detail and we'll get into it. Tell me where they all are. Let's do it by Modern Cinema Master. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Interesting tones, man. And the way things are panned. Oh, that feedback. Dude, that was fun. I enjoyed that one. That was cool, man. I think it was that one, right? If I'm not mistaken. No? Was that not the right one? That was right, wasn't it? Yeah? Or did I play the wrong one? Oh, no, I did. No, I did play the right one. Yep, good. So let's talk about this one then, because that was Tell Me Where They All Are by Modern Cinema Master. So what is this track about? Asking someone where they all are. Now, I'm not sure who they're referring to, as I do not understand the lyrics. But whoever they are, I hope they found them. And hopefully not a bad way, you know. The vocals were just, there was no messing around. They were straight to the point. They were cut to the chase. They were in your face. The rapping was dope. The flow was slick. I like the fact we had enough confidence within our instrumental backing to allow that to be by itself for a part, but I also appreciate the fact that the vocals had so much character to them. Like the chanting at the end, the different harmonies like mids, lows, and stuff like that, how we held that for quite a bit and then allowed that feedback to come up there and just kind of grab you by the throat. It was such a sharp, sort of interesting texture. And it's just such a short song as well. There was so much character and charisma within this piece that I had a phenomenal time with it. I think they're sensational vocalists and they sold the track. I think as a focal point, they made a lot of sense. But like the track itself, outside of the singing, it's again, it's 2 minutes 30. You don't really need to overcomplicate a track this short because you can usually get away with it through sort of few sort of key chord progressions and bass lines, and you should be fine. The track doesn't start straight away. Like if we go to start, you got the bass line there. And it's a ballsy move to have like nothing much apart from a bass line there, because a lot of the time if people are really sort of attention deficit, they're really going to need like more than that within the first 10. But because it just stops and there's an awkward amount of space after it, it's like, why is it stopped? And then you go into a faster tempo part. You have the guitar harmonizing with the bass in that part. They're up an octave or up 2 octaves. And then you have like a 16th note groove on the kit there with the hi-hats, cymbals, and snares and stuff like that. And you like have a real kind of trashy tone as well to those hi-hat cymbals. They're kind of the dirty hi-hats there. They sound kind of filthy. It's the menace. The menace of it is the menace of it is really something. I think that the way that we played the kit there, the raw sort of nature of the performance, not overcomplicating both, the tone of the instruments, like that lead guitar that we have in that section as well, the kind of spacey kind of chorus of it where it's exaggerated and it's kind of otherworldliness, it just makes it a sort of a real sort of a surreal experience there. And then when the vocals come in, because they're very blunt, they're just this beautiful sort of contrast in the center of the stereo field. Or like, were they double tracked actually? No, they were. It was really well mixed. You know, whether the drummer was doing again those sort of 16th note offbeat snares or whatever, or like the sort of coordinated accents, the bassist was in the forefront, the vocalist niched nicely on top there, and able to express themselves really, really, really eloquently. And I think that we had just a great sort of balance of again those verse sections where we really needed the lyrics to come through clearly, or the parts we had like the big band aesthetic there, the different lead guitars, that kind of soaring, the kind of intense kind of caustic nature of it. Because I think before that big drop, and we make great use of feedback here as well, that we allow that squeal, that discomfort to come in and be something that even as someone who doesn't understand the language, I can kind of guess that we're talking about something very kind of tense and sort of strenuous. And that's important. It is important. And just as a final note, that lead guitar tone is a very uncomfortable one for me. They've deliberately left resonant frequencies in there to sort of make it a bit more pointed and a bit more jagged. But I think depending on what the song is about, it can work very well to sort of back that up as an alternate lead. So I feel like structurally, it's well phrased there. The theme itself is no BS, no rubbish, straight to the point, sort of in your face. Everything there is trying to catch your attention, but it's done in a way where if you lasted that first 13 seconds without much, you're basically invested into it. And again, I think the chanting at the end is what really sells. It's just coming down after that massive kind of build there, after the feedback. You know, it's just a really sort of intense experience with this song. It's a minor oriented song. It has some kind of natural sixth and stuff like that, and a bit of modular stuff where it's a little bit kind of like quirky or bohemian, but like it does handle itself well. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering, despite the rough edges and the freaky parts, are really well handled. Yeah, commercial grade. Yeah, suits well for the genre. Really awesome music. And thank you to Nake/RT for putting us through. But that is our live stream for today. Thank you for coming along to this SB $5 song requests today. We have reviewed a few songs. We've got Jacob and Dinner Hay and RT, Sweet Little Love, as well as Morphin Dinner Hay, RT, Jamie, Alvin K, And RT again, thank you for all of your requests. I really appreciate it. We listen to some really cool music, and I look forward to doing it again soon. I'm hoping that the next little while will be a bit more normal and a bit less chaotic. Once that money comes through from the taxes, I should get that vocal preamp, and the voice should sound a little bit more professional. But we'll see how it goes. It could just be that my voice is my voice, and I have to come to terms with that after several years of doing this. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But hopefully, you have a fantastic weekend. Please take care of yourselves. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you at the next live stream. Spiderhands out. Got 3, 2,